Eden here again, back with the video with the 4 steps in detail that I promised you in the previous video to keep your skin supple, smooth, hydrated, and radiant in the desert with all this arid heat that we are exposed to on a minute-by-minute basis. So what is the first step? The first step is going to be really 2 steps combined into one. You can separate them, but hey, who has time for all that, right? So the first step would be cleansing and exfoliation. And you can accomplish it all beautifully, naturally, in one step with the use of this revolutionary product. Hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. Raw honey. Yep, just regular raw honey. Not that teddy bear stuff, okay? It has to be the real raw honey, which is now widely available. I've seen it even at Safeway and Fry's. So your conventional grocery stores have it. Obviously, your health food stores have it. A lot of times your local herb shop will have it. And you can just buy the smallest size if you're not consuming it, which is wonderful to consume internally. But if you aren't into honey that way and you just want to use it for your face, even the smallest jar will last you for months and months, because you only need like a dollop, like 1/4 of a teaspoon or so, or half a teaspoon for your whole face. So it'll last a long time. And basically raw honey has live enzymes which help to eat away the dead skin cells. So that exfoliation is really important for the other nutrients that come in the subsequent steps to be able to penetrate, or else you're just going to have a heavy face cream sitting on top of dead skin and not doing anything, right, for your skin. And we don't want that. And that can actually result in some of the scaling that sometimes people experience, or makes the skin even more dry because now the water can't penetrate either. So exfoliation is going to be very important. Honey also cleanses the skin. It hydrates the skin because it is a very strong humectant. So this is why honey is such a great preservative, because you put anything in it, it sucks all the water out of that thing, out of all the microorganisms and so forth. And so without water, none of these living things can thrive, right? So honey draws the water from the deeper layers of the dermis, from the, the really sort of first layers of your skin, and draws it up to the surface, which results in that supple, youthful, radiant look, okay? So between the exfoliation, which is kind of creating a glow, the hydration that's coming from the humectant properties drawing water to the surface of the skin, and the nutrients and minerals in honey, you really are doing your skin a tremendous favor. You're feeding it, you're hydrating it, you're cleansing it, and you're exfoliating it all in one step, okay? Alternatively, if honey isn't doing it for you, maybe you're a vegan. I'm a vegan, which means I'm a vegan who consumes honey products. Bee products, so, the honey doesn't faze me. But if you don't like honey for that reason, or, for any other reasons, whether it be ethical or you just kind of are allergic or something, then you have alternatives. One of them is clay. Yes, good old-fashioned dirt, not the dirt outside, but Rasool clay, bentonite clay, French green clay, the pink clays, all of those clays that you can get from a health food store or online from a cosmetic supplier. All of those work really, really well. And you only need a little bit, like a teaspoon or 2 max, soaked up with a little bit of water. If you want to be fancy, you can do an herbal tea, you can do aloe juice, you can do a little bit of face wash if you want to do that. But basically clay helps to clean the skin by sucking it draws the impurities out of the skin. And it also helps to exfoliate. It gives a very gentle exfoliant action, especially if you don't wait for it to dry. But it has really nice fine grains, because sometimes when you exfoliate with something that's too harsh, it can worsen the problem, and open skin and so forth. I have very sensitive skin. So if it's not the gentlest, like most crystalline fine granules of something, I can't exfoliate with it, which is why honey works so well for me, and clay too. So washing your face with dirt is a great way to wash your face and exfoliate. If you're going to use a face wash, just because face washes have surfactants, which aren't in of themselves necessarily bad, but given the nature of our climate and its just crazy aridness, I would avoid using anything soapy on your face or even your body more than a couple of times a week. Just water is fine. And then when you feel like you need something extra, obviously use the soap, or use soap in critical areas. But that really will leach oil, which is a protective barrier from your skin, and it also kind of dehydrates the skin a little bit. So face wash, go easy on the face wash, and definitely use things that only have hydrating ingredients. The second step after you've cleansed your skin is, and this is one of the most critical steps. Now, of course, like everything else, this step doesn't matter if you don't exfoliate, or if you don't, do other things. But this step, if you add it to all the other things that you're doing, if you're doing the right things, will really be a game changer. And that's using a hydrating serum. Now, that serum needs to have two critical ingredients, which I'll get to in a minute. But that serum basically needs to be mostly water. So really three critical ingredients. Mostly water. It definitely should have a high level of vitamin C. I would say 20%, maybe even 25% if your skin can take it. It's a little bit tingly, so some people will be like, I had a reaction. No, you didn't have a reaction. It's just a bit tingly. I would not do less than 15%, especially if you're buying it, because aqueous vitamin C actually degrades over time. Not into anything bad, it just stops being effective. I guess its chemical nature changes. I'm saying chemical, but for lack of a better choice of word, it's pretty natural. But that ascorbic acid, you want it to stay nice and fresh and vibrant, and have your skin be absorbing it. And that really helps with the anti-aging. It helps with creating a certain glow for the skin. It also helps with, just keeping the skin healthy and supple, and soft, and a little bit feeling exfoliated as well. The hyaluronic acid, that's another one. Now, I know that sounds really horrible and like chemical and unnatural. However, hyaluronic acid really helps to maintain moisture levels in the skin. It kind of, is something that is found naturally in our skin, and I think in our hair as well. But it really helps to kind of, how honey helps to draw water to the surface of the skin. The hyaluronic kind of will hold that water in place, and that hyaluronic acid kind of will also help to perform the action of being kind of a moisture barrier on the face, because in the desert, we're walking around, all of us on earth, human beings, we're walking around with our largest organ exposed to the elements, which is our skin, which is porous, and everything else is tucked away under layers of fat, under layers of muscle. So things are nice and cushioned and protected and squishy and hydrated with our body fluids and so forth, but our skin is just out there. Okay, so it needs a barrier from the elements. Yes, we feed our skin from the inside out with good nutrition, with herbs, with plenty of nice water and hydration, and green leafy vegetables and all the good stuff. But when you live in the desert, you just cannot discount the climate. So you want a nice barrier. So you want a nice barrier of moisture as well. That's kind of, kind of keeping the skin nice and watered from the outside, kind of like how we put mulch in our gardens to kind of preserve the moisture levels. You're kind of doing that with something that's natural. And you want water, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid. And if you want to be fancy, you can upgrade the serum by, you can buy serums that are just water, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C. But if you really want to upgrade, what you would do is, for the water component, you would put a whole bunch of antioxidant type extracts in there. So herbal extracts, marine extracts, whatever, that are in water or soluble in water, to kind of up the antioxidant game in that too, because we really need that, because visual aging of the skin and so forth really accelerates in the desert. I feel like I always look five years older, you know, when I'm in Phoenix versus when I'm in Los Angeles or another part of the world or the country that is a little bit more humid. So there is that issue. So you definitely want to find yourself a nice sort of anti-aging, hydrating serum. And you can always message me for different ones if you like. But you know, off the top of my head, two I can think of that I like for the desert, that are appropriate for the desert, and they were actually developed by ladies who live in arid climates. One is the iSun phyto-infusion one. It's a bit spendy. I believe it's like $112. And it'll last you maybe 6 weeks or so if you're using it daily. And you can get that from the Tree of Life. I want to say treeoflife.nu. You can just visit their web store there. Another one that's kind of nice is one from Sia Botanicals. They have a prickly pear serum, which is particularly lovely. And I think they also have one in their aloe and jojoba line. And you can get both of those at Whole Foods. And that one I think is going to run you about 30 or 40 bucks. Okay. So those are nice hydrating serums. And there's another line which I can't think of from the top of my head, that's in both Sprouts and Whole Foods that you can get that has a nice serum. And, you know, the Happy Hippie, I think, is one that's online. I've seen it at Whole Foods, but you can also get it online from Amazon. And if you did an Amazon search, a whole bunch would come up, especially if you look for serums with vitamin C and hyaluronic acid. Okay, so that helps to prime your face as well to receive the face cream. And usually people focus on this last step, which I call the emollient step. Okay, and basically, you know, our skin is porous and we are receptive to both water molecules as well as oil molecules. And you know, our skin produces sebum, you know, which is kind of a natural waxy oily substance, and we're also able to receive oils, and these oils can nourish our skin in a deeper way. So with the emollient step, you really want to stick to natural carrier oils, simply because they're more nutritious for the skin. They can penetrate the pores, most of them. They have vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and so forth. And it's more eco-friendly when we're washing it off our faces and it goes into the rivers and eventually the oceans. You know, the fish aren't going to die because, you know, we're washing natural stuff off our bodies. So, you know, there is that. They definitely are more cost effective and they're more versatile. They last longer. A lot of these sort of anti-aging facial oils, you have to be careful if they're not naturally made, because they have silicones in them, and silicones are synthetic oils which sometimes can look really nice in terms of how they leave the skin and have that barrier on the face. However, sometimes they can clog the pores and cause acne and other things, and you just get more nutritional power out of the, you know, natural oil. So why not use them? Some of them even have low SPF, you know, which is helpful with our climate. So you want to look for a nice natural facial oil blend with, you know, if it's boosted with anti-aging essential oils, even better. So you're kind of looking for that sort of thing, or a face cream of some sort. Now, if you're young, you could probably get away with a light facial lotion for those of us with experienced skin. And I would classify that as anyone who's like 26, 28 and older. You know, in the desert, you're really going to have to start that anti-aging thing a little bit younger. You know, other people can afford to start it in their 30s, but if you live in the desert, I think that if you're in your mid to late 20s and above, you really should be looking at anti-aging skincare. Okay. But, you know, most of us would like, you know, a deeper sort of heavier moisturizing cream, or you know, at least at night for sure, you know, or a facial oil or a facial butter. So that's the emollient step, and it really is a very effective protective barrier against harsh wind, against excessive sun, against losing moisture from the skin, because you know the oil kind of traps that water in. And you know, it also has a lot of antioxidants. If you're looking at you know, great oils like, I don't know, carrot seed oil, and you know, all these different, you know, wonderful carrier oils that you can get. And I like the iSun and what's it called, the Sia Organics line as well. And you can go to Whole Foods and just get any of the carrier oils that you see at the bottom. If you have dark skin like mine, or if you're olive skinned, try, in fact, don't even try, I would say don't even risk it. Get products that don't have citrus oils in them. You can do it for your body, like a body scrub or a body lotion or butter or something, but for your face, anything that's the neck up, your hair and scalp, things that are going to be exposed to the sun, don't get citrus oils, because most dark-skinned people are photosensitive to citrus. So even though it's a completely natural substance, once you go out and you encounter sunlight, there's something about the chemistry between the sunlight and the citrus oils that can create a photosensitivity, and you end up being kind of rashy, and you blame the product and say, oh, you know, this product was bad. No, the product isn't bad. We just can't do citrus, quite a big percentage of us. So if you're formulating products for people who have darker skin, if that's your niche, then don't use citrus oils. There are plenty of wonderful oils for the face, even for oily skin, that are not citrus based. So that's that. Now, I have a workshop coming up on September 9th, which is this Saturday at 2 p.m. at Green Goddess House of Herbs. It is on the northwest side. It's north of Indian School and 7th Avenue in Phoenix, in central Phoenix, kind of on the northwest side. So if you're coming off the freeway from, like, say, the McDowell, Roosevelt, you know, direction, then you would just go head up north on 7th Avenue, and it would be on the left-hand side. So I'll be doing a workshop there. It'll be really like a quick and dirty workshop, about an hour long, and you know, I will show you how you can make serum in 15 minutes. Now, the hour accommodates people who have questions, who maybe want to shop in the herb store after the event, because it's taking place after store hours. And you know, so, and a little bit of theory behind why we make that product, how we make it. I'll give you a resource sheet where you can buy all these ingredients from different suppliers and so forth. But you walk away from class with 2 serums. One will just be a really plain one, and another one will be an herbal one that is just chock full of antioxidants. And both of them are worth, you know, $40 or more. The cost of the class is $20. But you walk away armed with those 2 things, which kind of gives you your money back 8 times on the spot. You also walk away with knowledge on how to produce this kind of thing for yourself, which saves you time, which saves you money, you know, in the long run. And, you know, if you wanted to start a business out of it, you could. So that's what's happening. If you're interested in that, you can go ahead and click the link. I'll try to make it the first comment under this video, or maybe a link in the description to this video. And, you know, that will help you to register. And there's only 10 spots because it's a really small space. If you've ever been to that space, I can't take more than 10 students at a time in there. It's just really teeny. So if more than 10 people want to register, then we'll open up a second class maybe right after that, or the following weekend or something. But for the most part, If this class doesn't fill up, I'm not going to do another class. So far we already have 3 people registered at the time of shooting this video, and I haven't even started advertising. So if you really want to do it and you're serious about it, register so that you book your spot. You don't miss your spot on that. But otherwise, I think I've armed you with enough info to be able to navigate the desert sun in the, you know, extremely hot summers and the dry winters. So you should be good to go. I hope this was helpful for you. You can always leave me a comment in the comments below, and thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the class. Bye bye.